Hey guys, Eternize here. So you've made your kick a good lead and this nice build-up, and then when it comes to the climax, everything falls flat. That's a sad scenario, and it's something we're all experiencing. And that's what this video is going to be about, how to mix the elements in your climax. Now, before we get into the video, I do need to say this. This is probably not what most people want to hear, but on this channel we're keeping it real. 90% of how you mix your climax comes down to how you've already mixed your two main components, your lead and your kick, okay? I think a lot of people are looking for that advice or mixing technique or even plug-in effect that is going to make all the difference in their climax. But the truth is, you can know all the best mixing techniques in the world, but if your sound sucks to begin with, they're only going to take you so far. Again, if your lead and kick is fully optimized, all it really takes to perfectly mix the climax is a simple sidechain and you're good to go. So in this video, we are not going to talk about how to optimize your lead and kick because those are major topics, okay? That's something I teach in depth in my upcoming masterclass. In this video though, we are going to focus on those 10% that we can actually control mix-wise during the drop. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. First thing we gotta look at is the sidechain. Of course, there are many ways to sidechain during the climax. You can use compression, you can use volume shaping, and I know a lot of people in FL uses the peak controller. You can use whatever you want for sidechaining, but we need to understand that sidechaining has an important role in how the climax sounds and feel. So choosing a sidechain with more control is definitely not gonna hurt. I always use volume shaper, and I want to show you the impact that very little adjustments can make. So you would think that since we're sidechaining, you would want all of the volume gone from the initial part of the cycle. But actually, that's not always the case. A lot of times, giving the ducking a little time to kick in can actually give the climax a better flow, and it can help the sidechain sound more transparent and can actually help the punch cut through a bit better also. In a lot of ways, it can just sound more natural. Let's listen to two different settings on the sidechain. Hey guys, real quick, I'm gonna ask for a small favor. I am fully committed to keep sharing my knowledge with you with these videos, and if you share my enthusiasm for hardstyle, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button and also comment down below so that the YouTube algorithm can get this out to the people with our shared interest. Thank you so much, and back to the video. Next thing we can look at is the space in between your lead notes properly filled out? So what can help maintain the energy in the climax is to make sure that every part is filled out. Also, what's going on in between your lead notes. In reality, you've probably already done part of the job with the reverb in your lead, which is rising in between the lead notes, right? But sometimes that's not enough during the climax. So what other things can we do to fill out those parts in between the lead notes? We can use delays. We can use arpeggiators. We can use other fillers like this stutter bass. So if you feel like your climax is lacking in the energy department, filling out that space in between the lead can sometimes help either bring it back or maintain it during the climax. One thing that can definitely kill the energy and clarity in the climax is if your lead or any other sound contain low end. It's not that you don't want any low end at all, some is okay, but the low end is primarily preserved for your kick in the climax, right? So sometimes it could be a good idea or sometimes even necessary to automate the low end to be removed during the climax. So what you'll do is that you will set up an EQ with a low cut, and during other parts of the track the low cut is inactive, but when the climax comes it activates just before the drop. This way we make sure that we've cleared out the low end and made as much space for the kick as we can. One tip I want to give you is that sometimes the low cut is too harsh on the phase. It changes the phase that negatively impacts the lead during the climax. If that's the case, you can try with a shelf curve instead. So you'll still eliminate some low end, but it can be more gentle on the phase. Let's listen to it with and without low cutting. The last thing I want to show you is what I call a drop saw. And what it is a saw playing during the drop. If your kick alone does not contain enough mid and high frequencies to keep the energy going during the drop, you can sort of compensate by using a separate synth layer to fill in that space. And for myself, I can say that this is giving me great results to use this method rather than just boost the high frequencies in the kick. The saw patch is very simple, but it does the job very well. Let's listen to the layer itself and then with and without it in the drop. Alright guys, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.